You're not who you used to be. You may not feel it yet, but God has changed something inside you. You're more aware. More awake. More disciplined. More spiritually sensitive. More surrendered. More aligned with God's voice. Your pain refined you. Your heartbreak softened you. Your waiting humbled you. Your challenges toughened you. Your battles matured you. Your prayer life deepened you. And now, heaven looks at you and sees someone ready, someone who can carry responsibility, influence, blessings, and spiritual favor with wisdom. You're stepping into a season where God doesn't just give things to you, He gives things through you. You will become a vessel. A carrier of purpose. A bearer of God's glory. A steward of blessings meant to impact others. A witness to God's faithfulness. A living testimony of divine transformation. Part 4 isn't just about what God is giving you. It's about who God has turned you into. The pain was a doorway, not a dead end. You thought some seasons ended because you failed. But heaven knew they ended because you outgrew them. You thought certain people left because you weren't enough. But heaven knew they left because your calling was too great for where they were willing to go. You thought the delay meant God wasn't listening. But heaven knew the delay was protection from levels you weren't prepared for yet. You thought the silence meant God had turned away. But heaven knew the silence was sacred, it was a season where God rebuilt your identity, not your environment. There are times when God protects you by removing things you begged Him to keep. Because if He let them stay, they would block the blessings He has already ordained. Part 4 is the moment God begins to restore what you thought you lost, not by giving it back in the same form but by giving back something better, deeper, richer, and more divine. There is a moment in every believer's journey when the soul becomes quiet. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything that once felt heavy begins to lose its power. A divine calm starts to rise in the heart, as if heaven is whispering, you made it through what was supposed to break you. And part 4 of your journey begins exactly there, standing at the edge of everything you survived, looking ahead at everything God is preparing. You see, God is not just writing a story for your life. He is crafting a transformation. And transformations are never small. They're never quick. They're never simple. They require pruning, stretching, breaking, rebuilding, and renewing. And everything you walked through, the confusion, the heartbreak, the silence, the battles no one knew about, all of it was part of the shaping. People saw the surface of your life, but God saw the roots. People saw the struggle, but God saw the strength being built beneath it. People saw the shaking, but God saw the foundation He was reinforcing. Sometimes, God allows a season to collapse because it wasn't strong enough to carry the future He designed for you. Sometimes, He lets certain things end because they were too small for your destiny. And sometimes, He lets you feel the weight of disappointment because without it, you would stay attached to something that wasn't meant to grow with you. But now, you stand at the threshold of a new chapter, one that heaven has been preparing while you were surviving. Part 4 is the moment God begins to reveal what He was doing when you felt nothing happening. God was preparing you while you were breaking. You didn't realize it, but the times you felt the weakest were the times God was strengthening you the most. The nights you cried weren't wasted, your tears were watering the seeds of your next season. The moments you begged God for answers, He was building endurance inside you. And the days you felt like giving up, heaven was silental. This is the season where things begin to make sense. The doors that didn't open will no longer hurt you because you will finally see why they needed to stay closed. The people who left will not sting anymore because you will realize they were never meant to witness where God is taking you. The pain that once felt unbearable will become the testimony that strengthens someone else's faith. Everything is shifting. Everything is aligning. Everything is falling into place. Not because of your strength, but because God has been ordering your steps even when you didn't realize it. You're not behind. You're not disqualified. You're not forgotten. You are chosen, protected, and positioned. Your best moments are ahead of you. Your greatest blessings are on the way. Your most powerful testimony is being written right now. So breathe. Stand tall. Prepare your heart. Because God is about to reveal why it had to happen. And when He does, you will lift your hands and say, Lord, thank you for closing the doors that weren't meant for me, because what you are giving me now is greater than anything I ever prayed for. Heaven isn't done. Your story isn't over. The next chapter is the one that will change everything. There comes a moment in every believer's life when you look back and realize, nothing that broke you was wasted. Nothing that confused you was pointless. Nothing that left your life was an accident. God is a God of purpose, and that means even the seasons you didn't understand were shaping you for the place He is taking you next. You see, God allows certain storms not to drown you but to wake something up inside you. He doesn't send pain to punish you, He uses pain to reveal who you are becoming. There are things you discovered about yourself in the dark that you never would have learned in the light. There is strength inside you now that you didn't know existed. There is courage inside you now that you didn't know you could carry. There is faith inside you now that only grew because everything else fell apart. And maybe, just maybe, the season you thought would break you, actually prepared you for elevation. The tears you cried watered the ground of your destiny. The prayers you prayed in silence shifted things in heaven. The nights you stayed up asking God why only brought you closer to Him. You didn't know it then, but while your heart was hurting, God was working. While you felt alone, angels were defending you. While you felt stuck, God was pushing you into alignment. While you thought life was delaying you, God was actually protecting you from a version of your story that wasn't meant for you. There are doors God closed not because you were unworthy, but because the other side of that door would have destroyed your peace. There are people who walked away not because you were replaceable, but because they could not walk with you into the next level of your calling. There are opportunities you lost not because you were incapable, but because God had something better with your name on it. And now, heaven is shifting your story. God is clearing old voices from your life so you can hear Him clearly. God is removing burdens from your shoulders so you can walk F. There are people coming into your life who will speak life into you, not drain you. There are opportunities coming that will honor your calling, not compromise it. There are blessings on the way that will feel like they were designed just for your soul. You haven't seen your best days yet. You haven't lived your greatest moments yet. You haven't stepped into the chapter God has been writing behind the scenes. The disappointment didn't break you, it built you. The delay didn't stop you, it strengthened you. The pain didn't destroy you, it prepared you. And now, heaven is announcing. You're entering a new season. A season where everything begins to make sense. A season where what you prayed for begins to unfold. A season where the weight on your heart becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. Lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Take a deep breath. Because the God who holds galaxies in His hands is the same God holding your future. And He hasn't written the final chapter of your story yet. He's not finished. And neither are you. There comes a time when God intentionally separates you from what you once depended on. Not to hurt you, but to grow you. Not to break you, but to build you. And sometimes, God will let certain doors close so you stop living at a level beneath the destiny He placed inside you. You're not stuck, you're being shifted. You're not forgotten, you're being refined. God is not delaying you, He is developing you. This season might feel like silence, but heaven has been busy with your name. God has been arranging moments, preparing hearts, positioning opportunities, and weaving together a story you haven't even glimpsed yet. What you feel as delay is actually God's divine timing protecting you, guiding you, and leading you into something greater. He hasn't denied your prayer, He's perfecting the outcome. Sometimes God doesn't answer immediately because if He showed you the blessing too early, you wouldn't be ready to carry it. He wants you strong enough to stand in the place He's leading you to. He wants you healed enough not to sabotage what He's sending. He wants you wise enough to recognize the doors that are from Him, and the ones that are distractions. What you call waiting, God calls preparing. What you call confusion, God calls construction. What you call loss, God calls transition. You see emptiness, but God sees a vessel ready for new oil. You see delay, but God sees a perfect setup for something miraculous. You see a dead end, but God sees the moment right before breakthrough, and maybe right now, you're looking around asking, Lord, when will it happen? When will things turn around? But God is whispering, trust me. I'm aligning everything. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right where I need you to be. There are blessings attached to timing. There are miracles attached to obedience. There are breakthroughs attached to surrender. And today, God is asking you to surrender the fear, surrender the questions, surrender the pressure,